remarkable achievement till now. Who knows, we might get that elusive gold medal as well coming. Fingers crossed for that in the Olympics.
And what a shame, as you say, that there may be nobody around to actually watch it. But we'll all be watching on television and elsewhere, many other media these days to watch. So the action begins in the 10-meter air pistol final, the last event of the day. Larson goes off with the 10.4 and the rest pretty poor. Rizvi, 8.7. Saurabh, too, a poor 9.2 by his standards. And Wu, our Olympic silver medalist, begins sharp at 10.5. That's a big difference already of a point and a half.
Special shoes they are wearing, Charu, for the stability. And the hands placed in the pocket so that it doesn't keep moving in the air and make them unstable.
Well, Larson continues his terrific form at 10.6 and Wu as well at 10.5. Saurabh tries to claw his way back, but the rest are still not very well off. Rizvi, another poor shot. Abhishek Varma, only a 9.2. Now, we're being a little harsh and critical, only a 9.2, because the target's really very small. It's a tough sport, but you are in the final of a World Cup, and it's now or never.
Absolutely. Abhishek Verma's previous shot was a 9.2. Let's see what he's going to get now.
Saurabh, of course, shoots very quickly. So he's shot his third at 10.2, which helps a bit, considering that Larson's dipped with a 9.8. At Rizvi
10.3 from Abhishek Verma. Brilliant shooting. Coming back into the form. His shots are a bit on the left. I think he will give a few clicks and try and get them in the center as much as possible.
Yeah, adjust as you go, but be careful of over-adjusting. So adjust at peril. Again, Larson started out so well with a 9.8 now. And Wu with a 10.9. You can't get more precise. The Olympic silver medalist showing the way. Now, in pistol, air pistol, that 10.9 is really elusive, Gagan.
It's quite elusive, but 10.9 takes a little pressure off you because you can rest a little bit. But if you see Wu, you know, his shots are right in the center. He has a very tight grouping of the last couple of shots. Looking very, very strong with 31.4.
That's just brilliant. Meanwhile, Saurabh, whom we've been praising because he is truly very talented, slips a bit with another 9.9. Can't afford any more in the nines, Saurabh. And a 9.3. This is not going too well for the young Indian for the moment. But we'll see. Mankulov also a 9.1. So that 10.9 you can see now of Wu is a very special shot. It must have shot him up in the rankings at this point of time. Or should we say in the standings at this point of time?
Abhishek Verma shooting slightly to the left. He would need to get back into the center.
Well, plenty of worry for those who've started off badly. Remember, 24-shot final. But it's the first 10 that give you some level of positioning. And then all begins to get very rough thereafter as you start fearing elimination.
Last shots from the first series coming in from Rizvi.
The man with the golden gun in terms of color.
9.1, he's not going to be very happy with that.
Well, I've got to say, I wonder what's wrong here because there have been many scores in the nines, which is a little unusual, but Wu with that 10.9 leaps ahead of the field. The rest are pretty close, but Imankulov at 1.7 behind the seventh, which is Saurabh Chaudhary, which is a big surprise as well. But the difference between Chaudhary and the next 4 or 5 positions is not very much. So maybe the next 5 shots could make a bit of a difference. We'll see.
A bit early on to give a judgment, actually, but anything can happen. Charu, anything can happen.
Well, the Olympic silver medalist from Rio, Philippe Almeida Wu, was hanging around outside. You said hello to him after the qualifying, between the qualifying and the final, and seemed very casual, like just another man out for a little walk in Delhi. But here he is for the final.
Yeah, I asked him if he wanted me to mention something special. He said, "Just wish me luck."
Well, you obviously did, because a 10.9, oh boy, wow, that's rare. Folks watching around the world, let's see if we can get one more 10.9 today in this air pistol for men. I suspect it's going to be, well, let's just say very difficult. I'm not saying impossible.
Just to explain to you and our viewers here, 10.9 is actually the centermost point in that 11.5 millimeter target when your shot hits exactly in the center. That's a 10.9. And that's what everyone's aiming to get.
And that center of center is, as you said before, like a shirt button. Now you pierce the button right in the middle from 10 meters with a pistol. Oh, boy, wow. Felipe Almeida, whoa. Right, next, where do you begin? We're watching you, whoa. And go for it. Holding a breath. Well, it swings a lot. In the air pistol event, it swings a lot.
Yeah, the longer you hold, the more it starts to shake and the more control you need. And at that point of time, if you miss the moment, you shoot 9 or an 8 and the pistol totally jumps.
Frederick Larsson in the red, first up, station A 9.8. Maura does well with a 10.6 and Abhishek Varma, 2. Not too bad. Where's Saurabh, a 9.7? He's having one of the poorer days that we've seen him in the final here because he has nerves of steel. And I don't think it's the pressure, just probably something to do with the adjustment of his gun.
He's been shooting a bit low towards the 10. I think he needs to give a few clicks so he gets his shots in the center.
Abhishek Varma, his 7th shot coming up. You can see a little left and high. I'm sure these guys are so clever, they're just as quickly as possible. This one can't be more left and higher than that. So it's got to be center of center, 10.5. Well done.
He, in fact, gave a few clicks in the last, after the last shot, which got his shots right in the center.
So the man in trouble, Saurabh Varma. Who would have thought? Saurabh Chaudhary, beg your pardon. Let's get the names right. Here's that specially made grip. And Abhishek Varma has done very well to get a 10.5 in the last one. But I suppose he did finish very well in the qualifier. So he comes with that confidence.
Yes, and if you see his body language, he still doesn't seem to be feeling the pressure. I'm sure it must be inside him, but he's not showing it on his face.
Meanwhile, Rizvi with a 10.8. That will certainly help as Saurabh continues with his late 9s and low 10s. 10.1 his last shot.
He's also the world record holder.
Well, sometime back, of course, he did hold the world record, but let's remind you that he's won a World Cup gold in Guadalajara in 2018 and a silver in Changwon also in 2018. Shahzad Rizvi, not much thereafter. Also an Asian Championship gold in Tehran in 16. That's Abhishek, beg your pardon, Shahzad Rizvi.
And not to forget, he's also the former world #1, Charu.
Well, he's certainly doing a little better now than... well, Abhishek Varma is doing quite well. That's Larson, position 8, 25 years old. Ranked number 42 in the world. Pretty steady, that gun. His best being 11th in the World Cup of Munich in 2017. A picture of concentration. Saurabh Chaudhary. But the scores, except that last one at 10.6 will help. Tough going for the youngster. Let's pay attention to some others. A 10.8 by Iman Kulov. Now remember, after the first series, he was last. So that 10.8 might rescue him.
Let's have a look at the rankings now coming up. Still one shooter to go.
Last shot, and there it is. You heard that. Maura, a 9.8 from the US. Comes from Miles City, Montana. Okay. Maura, despite that last shot, is right at the bottom, but not too far off from Iman Kulov. So they'll be shooting off for 8th to begin with. One of them may have to walk away unless we have some drastically bad shot by Larson or Rizvi, who are also closer to them.
Fantastic shooting by Javed Farooqi. He was not so well placed in the first 10 shots, but he's come up in the ranks now.
Abhishek just calming himself, because even though you know the results, you're doing pretty well. He is at number 3 right now, but just have to remain calm. Can't let it get to you or let external thoughts get into your mind. What happens at this halfway stage, Gagan, because do you allow yourself to feel, oh, I've started well, I'm okay? Or do you feel, no, 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 hang on. Every shot, one at a time.
Absolutely, Charu. I think the key is to have to shoot every shot one at a time. Forget about the previous shot, delete it from your mind, and then focus on the next shot. Because to stay in the game, every shot is important, and each shot at a time is what's going to get you towards your goal.
As always, of course, easier said than done, because when you see a 9.4 or something and you say, oh my God, what do I need to do to recover? And sometimes when you try harder, it just becomes a lot worse. But you've got to trust yourself, knowing that I've shot 1,000 times. I know what to do. It's going to happen for me in the next shot. However, Wu at 101 doing extremely well. So does Farugi.
Abhishek Verma, they're shooting a fantastic 10.6 with.
So too Farugi from Iran. So those are good scores. Saurabh not too bad at 10.3. And Mara, of course, in some danger of elimination, needs to keep that going. Shot number 12 coming up. Farugi, he's in no danger. So the Iranian can, I'm not suggesting take it easy, but at least there's no elimination pressure.
Interestingly, Charu, the sport in general is it such a fantastic sport. It's so mental that it's all about control. When you compare it to other popular sports like football or cricket, the sport is very internal, and you need to go inside yourself. You can't punch the air, you can't make expressions. You just have to be very, very internal and very focused and control all your emotions, and that's when you can execute the proper technique.
More on that in a second, as Iman Kulov ends with a 10, and Maura, who is, well, between the two of them, they're waiting for who's going to be eliminated at number 8. Oh, Maura at 9.1 hasn't done himself any favors here. So the final spot goes to Nicholas Maura here, who, as we said earlier, comes in from Miles City, Montana, USA. 32 years old, ranked number 71, but will take no more part in this final today. The USA also has a terrific shooting tradition. In fact, their women did very well in the rifle earlier on. And of course, they're terrific big bore shooters. How are they in pistol shooting generally?
Well, they've been coming up and doing really well of late, and there have been some fantastic performances by pistol shooters. They have, of course, Olympic champions in shotgun, especially skeet with Kimberly Rhodes, and in men's skeet as well. So from fantastic shooters that USA has produced. In fact, even in the 3-position rifle events, you had some fantastic shooters with Matt Emmons winning a lot of medals back-to-back in multiple Olympics.
So no more for Maura today from the USA. Well done to get to the final, which is difficult enough. So many people competing for the qualifying, and it's all very brutal. But here we go. Now, 7th place to be decided. And that short walk back to your coach, just a few meters behind. You can see the Walther of Frederick Larson in position A here, all of 25 years old. As we've said, the best of 11 so far, 11th so far in World Cup 10-meter pistol shooting. And surely today, by reaching the final, he has already bettered his record in this event. Iman Kulov coming back very strongly. Rizvi dropping with a 9.8, but Saurabh helping his cause with a 10.7. And Wu, who was leading along with Farugi, also dropped just a shade. Farugi, particularly in the 9s now, will have to watch out. Well, later. It's between Iman Kulov and Larson now to see who can get the better of each other so as to not make that short walk away from this final. You can see the shot clock at the back, 50 seconds allowed. 33 seconds or so. Saurabh shoots very quickly, we know.
10.5 from Saurabh and 10.1 from Rizvi. Farugi shooting a 10.5.
It's Wu we're concerned about. Also 10.4, he's done very well. Maura, of course, no longer in the competition. And 8.6 for Iman Kulov, so I do suspect he might be the next one to walk after this shot. Well, good to see you here, youngster, just 19 years old from Kazakhstan, fourth in the Youth Olympics back in 2018, and finishing 7th today, easily his best finish in a World Cup 10-meter pistol event. Well done, young man. I'm sure we'll see much more of him.
Interestingly, Charu, his coach has also been in the Olympics and shot some great scores and won many medals. So we have all three Indians currently in the safety zone, except Shehzad Rizvi for the next two shots, fighting Larsen Frederick with a 1-point difference.
Big gap after Wu of 1.3. This man, Saurabh Chaudhary, currently in third. Like I said, 1.3 behind the leaders. Now, we've said this before, Gagan, that in air pistol shooting, there can be a pretty big swing. Somebody gets a 10.6, and your opponent could easily get 9.6, of course, either way. So all those behind the leader still have hope.
The mistake, Charu, in the air pistol event is very, very unforgiving, I must say.
Yeah, it tends to swing pretty rapidly in terms of points. You know, a 1.5 point swing is also easy. Larsen, no, 8.6. That's not going to be of any use at all. Saurabh does well. Yeah, 10.5. Rizvi, once again, poor. So to Foroughi, who drops back a bit. Abhishek Varma, very strong. Let's see what Wu does. 10. Okay, so the gap, I think, at the top is lessening now, reducing.
Larsen in a bit of a spot, wanting to cover 2.2 of Rizvi.
Just a deep breath taken by Foroughi here, who was leading handsomely, now leads by only 0.1. And the third place is 0.8 or so behind. So the gap at the top narrowing.
$10.1 from Saurabh.
Not particularly good. Rizvi in trouble. He continues to be with a 9.7. Foroughi helps himself with a 10.5. So he is going to rocket ahead, and Wu drops a bit with his 9.6. It's all changing pretty dramatically here, but Foroughi maintains a pretty steady pace. Just one bad shot, I think, in the last few for Foroughi.
1 point behind is Wu from Brazil. Saurabh and Abhishek giving each other a very tough fight with 0.2 difference. And Saurabh behind Wu with 0.3. Very much possible.
I will have to say, even as we bid goodbye to Frederick Larsen, who finishes on 6th here today. Larsen, 25 years old, and from Aarhus in Denmark. I wonder if I pronounced that right. Aarhus. Aarhus. Anyway, so Larsen goes. Rizvi living very dangerously. And I can't see how he can climb back up in the next two shots. So he may have to settle for 5th. Well, that's later. We're getting ahead of ourselves. More importantly, it's the medal positions that Abhishek Varma and Saurabh are now fighting for. One of them surely will get the bronze, but it depends whether Foroughi and Wu will drop, because they are Foroughi 1, Wu 2 at this point of time.
Yes, Charu, 1 point difference is not too much. You still have 4 or 5 shots to go for both of them.
Well, I think your good luck has certainly worked for Wu with a 10.9 today. And as I did say, no more 10.9s. Saurabh, a 10.6, that's pretty good. Varma drops back. Foroughi, not bad. He continues very smartly. Rizvi in trouble. And Wu, 9.5. Maybe I said something too soon.
And we see Saurabh Chaudhary coming, climbing to the 2nd position behind Foroughi. Wu in 3rd. Abhishek Varma not far behind, 0.3 in 4th position. And Rizvi in the danger zone, 3.3 points behind.
Well, we got some bad news for Shehzad Rizvi. Despite being the world #1 earlier and the world record holder, he's too far behind now to make up in this last shot. So he may have to finish at 5th. But between Varma, Wu, and Saurabh, it's all very close for that silver. I do think Foroughi has done almost enough to secure gold. We'll see. A few shots still left. Rizvi, again, not too happy with his performance at all. Well, you can make out from his body language here, saying, what went wrong there? What am I doing? A 9.0, what, he was too far behind anyway. So it would have required more than a 10.9 to catch up. Abhishek Varma also not a very happy 9.9, but he will move up as Rizvi leaves the arena.
Furugi clear of Saurav with 0.3. Rizvi not very content, not very happy.
Well, you wouldn't want to go and say hello to him at this point of time. I mean, he looks pretty cross with himself, and understandably so. Did rather well in the qualifying, and also a former world #1, as you said. So lots of talent there for Rizvi. He is 26 now, but that's pretty average at the age for shooters. And that leaves Varma, Wu, Saurabh Chaudhary, who's moved into second position, only 0.3 behind Furugi. So you never know. Saurabh could pull a rabbit out of the hat here, only 0.3 behind.
Abhishek Verma and Wu now fighting for the bronze medal. Abhishek 0.8. Anything can happen.
What Wu needs here is that very difficult, elusive 10.9. And if I might add, so does Abhishek. We'll see. He's 0.8 behind. So there needs to be a 1-point swing or a 0.9 to be mathematically precise. Wu is the one we're looking at. 8.4, that's terrible. Oh.
That's going to be very hard to recover from, Charu.
Well, he indicates that maybe there was something on his arm which he felt very uncomfortable about. But it is Abhishek Verma who is competing with him. He hasn't shot yet. Still a few seconds left. Saurabh Chaudhary with a 10 has not helped his cause because Furugi moves on ahead at 10.4. There's a big difference now between Furugi and Saurabh. We'll see where that goes. But what's the situation here with Abhishek Verma? Does he have time? Well, this is... I'm a little perplexed because Wu, of course, has shot an 8.4 and Abhishek Verma hasn't yet.
Probably be a malfunction or probably the target. Nothing's showing on his screen.
Well, it does happen, and it's not good for anyone's nerves. And Wu, having already shot an 8-point-odd, is...
Well, he's not leaving his position, so he knows what's going wrong.
Wu is still aiming at the target, so I wonder if he has come up with... No, he's still hanging firm. So it's all down to Abhishek Verma and what's going on. Gagan, come on, give us a viewpoint here.
Well, he's not leaving. So either he's shot and the score's not coming, or there could be something else. So the officials are now investigating. He's not leaving his position. He's not left the grip of the pistol. He's very much in the game.
And meanwhile, of course, the others just have to wait and see. So Furugi on the right in pole position at this point of time, sufficiently ahead of this young man, Saurabh Chaudhary, who after that last shot has fallen well behind, a good 0.7 behind Furugi. So we'll see how that contest for gold and silver goes.
10.3 shows the screen now for Abhishek Verma.
And is that enough, though?
Wu now placed number 4, 1.1 behind Abhishek.
Right. Now that 8.4 is going to cost. And Abhishek Verma did very well to just stay there and let the score be registered. The officials went to their electronics and came back with a 10 what was it? 10.3. Saurabh, 10.6. But his battle really is with Furugi. What does the Iranian shoot? We'll see. Wu with a 9.5, another per score. 10.4 for Furugi. So he's still in the lead. And where does Abhishek? Oh, gosh, a 9.1. That's not going to help.
Abhishek Verma on number 3. Wu gets eliminated. So there are 2 medals assured for India. Furugi Jawad, of course, not letting Saurabh Chaudhary pull away, trying to keep up shot after shot with high 10s. Saurabh not letting go either. This is turning out to be an exciting final.
Yes, for sure. But you feel a little sorry for Felipe Almeida. Wu, who did very well, was in the lead too at one point in time, 1-2. Then ends at 4th because of the last 2 shots being 8 point something and a 9 something. Oh, that's very rough on the Brazilian.
Very, very matured of Abhishek Verma to not let go, even though the scores didn't come on the board. He didn't let anything disturb him. Very fine shooting here.
Well, Wu, what could have been after a 10.9, he showed us the way with a middle of middle. Farugi in the lead from Iran. Abhishek Verma too far behind now to vie for silver. So he probably will end with bronze anyway, but it's a terrific... Oh, Saurabh a 9.7, and so too Farugi a 9.6. One shot left, and we'll see where they go.
Reducing the lead of 0.5 to now 0.4. Abhishek Verma behind Saurabh with 2.3.
Well, that's too much to catch up, isn't it? So Abhishek will probably settle for bronze. And that's a good result. After all, it's a World Cup. And Abhishek, of course, has done his share of winning. Gold at Rio and Beijing in 2019. And Asian Games bronze medal at Jakarta 2018. And it's certainly going to be a bronze here for this man on screen, Abhishek Verma. All of 31, ranked number 2 in the world.
9.8 by Saurabh. Abhishek Verma finishing with a 10.6. Fabulous shooting.
Leaves Farugi. And if he races ahead of Saurabh, it'll be all too late. 9.6, so the gap narrows. A right smile. Farugi knows that, oh boy, he is slipping away. He's giving Saurabh Chaudhary, opening a window for Saurabh Chaudhary to move in.
Fantastic shooting by this young lad. Of course, 30 years old, lot of experience, lawyer from Chandigarh, finishing with the bronze medal for India. Abhishek Verma.
Well, he can be justifiably proud of what he's done here today. Home conditions, of course, home range as well. Lives in Chandigarh, but I'm sure all these people train at the Dr. Karni Singh range pretty often. So, Abhishek, congratulations for your bronze. And we now have only 0.2 the difference between Farugi from Iran and Saurabh Chaudhary, the young sensation from India. And they have 2 more shots to see who takes which color of medal here in New Delhi today.
What a nail-biting final this is. Shooters not doing well in the first 10 shots, coming up, winning a bronze medal. Amazing quality of shooting here.
These guys are on the opposite side virtually of the range. Saurabh in the forefront, Farugi at the back. And we have 2 more shots. Farugi
not even lifting his pistol, letting Saurabh shoot first. Probably wants to see what he's shooting and then shoot.
And Saurabh does shoot very quickly. And I say that, you know, it's a testament to his nerves. He's not quite bothered about anything else. So 10.1, not bad. A little bit of pressure on Farugi. As we all hold our breath.
When the crowd starts cheering, Farugi knows that the shot was good.
Oh, 9.6. Farugi falls behind.
Saurabh turned the tables. That's Saurabh on number 1 now. Farugi trailing him with 0.3.
Time to refocus, maybe a little prayer, and we'll see how that last shot goes. Also, a release of a little bit of air there. Saurabh, I must say, unflappable. Shows nothing on his face. Quite a remarkable talent, this young man.
Absolutely. You can see all the Indians crossing their fingers and toes for Saurabh.
Down to the last shot. And this will decide the final 2 medals here at the 10-meter air pistol ISSF World Cup in New Delhi. Thanks once again for watching from wherever you are. It all comes down to this shot. The crowd rises to the occasion. Saurabh will, as always, shoot first. It's got to be in the 10 somewhere. What's it going to be? A 9.8, not too good. So Javed Farugi now with an opportunity to claw his way back. 0.3 behind. A 10.1 will tie. 10.2 will win the gold for Farugi.
Time's running out for Farugi.
10.5, Farugi takes gold. And just a hint of disappointment from Saurabh Chaudhary. Well done, he took his time. He knew what the gap was. Well done, Farugi. And the crowd, of course, game to applaud for the Iranian, who did very well under extreme pressure, Gagan.
He just had 14 seconds on the clock before he executed that shot. What brilliant shooting. Under pressure, he waited for Saurabh to finish, took his time, cancelled the shot probably once, picked it up again, and bang, it was a 10.5.
Well, he could be father and son here. Farugi, 41 years old, wins the gold, and the 19-year-old, or is it 18, beg your pardon, Saurav Chaudhary, number 4 in the world. Look at the ranking difference, though. Maybe they don't take part in that many events, but Farugi, 107 in the rankings, and Saurav Chaudhary, number 4 in the world. We'll bow down to this man. Farugi, thanks the Almighty, well done. 10.5 to take that nail-biter. Last shot, he was 0.3 behind. Saurabh shot first, got a 9.8, and he will rue that, won't he? Needed something in the 10s to keep going, but that's confirmation. Farugi, gold. Saurabh, silver. And it's an Indian 2-3 with Varma taking bronze.
Fantastic shooting today by the Indians. A lot of medals for them. 1-2 in the women's in the air pistol event with Manu Bakar and Yashaswini, and also fantastic shooting by other countries like USA with 1-2 wins in the air rifle event as well. So amazing shooting.
Yeah, well, some nations may be missing, but folks, this is the ISSF World Cup, one of the major events of the shooting calendar. And New Delhi, of course, very proud to host it once again, as it did back in 2019, 2020, of course, no event. But we are back in New Delhi for this wonderful edition of the World Cup. Wonderful facility here too, Dr. Karni Singh Range. Gagan, you mentioned so many good things about this world-class facility, and it only threatens to get better. Or should I use the word promises to get better? Larson out early today in the 10-meter air pistol. And Shahzar Rizvi, after doing so much, unfortunately not finishing among the medals today, the 26-year-old, but does have 2 World Cup gold medals. And Wu did so well to show us a 10.9, and they just wilted towards the end with an 8-point-something and a 9-something, allowing this man here, Abhishek Varma, to take bronze today. He's won gold before, Abhishek, but he'll settle for bronze today, the 31-year-old. And finally, in the second-last shot, it was Saurabh who took the lead, but in the final shot, knowing that he was 0.3 behind, he shot a fabulous 10.5. Well done. Farugi from Iran at 41 years old takes his first World Cup gold medal. His best, if I remember correctly, was a mixed 7th position in the World Cup in New Delhi 2 years ago. So this is a huge moment, memorable moment for Farugi. Confirmation, Farugi Saurabh Varma with the medals. Wu, number 4, always the worst position to be in. Rizvi, Larson, Mankulov, and Maura got to the finals, did well enough, Gagan. As we keep saying, even that's a big deal, getting to the final.
Absolutely. There's been some fantastic shooting in the 10-meter air pistol event in the men's category. So close, yet so far for Saurav Chaudhary. But I think India will be happy with the medals.
And so I hope are you around the world. Thanks so much for watching. It's goodbye for now.
Good.
हम लेकर आ रहे हैं टीम इंडिया का धमाकेदार खेल अब आपकी टीवी स्क्रीन पर। टीम इंडिया की घरेलू सीरीज से लेकर विदेशी दौरा, वर्ल्ड कप से लेकर चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी, एशिया कप और फिर बायलैटरल सीरीज। अब टीम इंडिया का T20 और वनडे मुकाबला देखिए सिर्फ डीडी स्पोर्ट्स पर। इसके अलावा आप ओलंपिक्स, एशियन गेम्स और कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स के मुकाबले का मजा भी डीडी स्पोर्ट पर ले सकते हैं। टेनिस कोर्ट से चारों ग्रैंड स्लैम का रोमांच भी आपके अपने डीडी स्पोर्ट्स पर। हॉकी की हलचल से लेकर फुटबॉल, बैडमिंटन का रोमांच सिर्फ डीडी स्पोर्ट्स पर। डीडी स्पोर्ट्स देखने के लिए आज ही खरीदिए डीडी फ्री डिश। एक बार पैसा लगेगा और फिर बिना किसी खर्चे के देखिए नॉन स्टॉप क्रिकेट के मुकाबले सिर्फ